How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, September the 16th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. And in this video, Candace Owens has an interesting idea as to this whole thing that's going on with the Charlie Kirk shooting. And in this video, Candace is pretty much trying to say that there's a lot of information that is still being withheld from the people. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Candace Owens talking about.
Let's get into what we know about the Charlie Kirk assassination thus far in terms of what the authorities are telling us. First, I just want to toss it to Michael Savage because the energy of this, what Michael Savage had to say about everything that we're hearing, is pretty much all of us right now. Take a listen.
The so-called FBI, something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening.
Sickening is definitely the right adjective, I think, to describe how a lot of us are feeling. And all I know how to do is to gather information, to research, and to investigate. And nothing is making sense. Now, it could not be making sense because we
See, family, here's the thing. The older gentleman that spoke on the rifle that was used, the Mauser, I think he said it, and saying how difficult it is to break down. And, it's just, here's the thing. We have to be careful as to how quick we want to run with a narrative. I can remember E. Harvey Oswald, you know, he was made to fit a narrative, but then years and years later, evidence came out that, hmm, maybe 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 he had people assisting him, but they're saying that it was darn near impossible for him to have, you know, President John F. Kennedy. They even had some theory about some magic bullet, saying that the bullet would have had to curve or what have you, or from the position where Lee Harvey Oswald was positioned, that is no way that he could have made the shot. So I don't know, fam. Now, you got to be careful when you just start jumping on these narratives, because just because the government says, "Hey, listen, this is the guy, here's the evidence, and case closed," No, it's just there are still some things that are kind of a little sketchy. So, got to remember, family, that sometimes, they can create a scapegoat, a fall guy. So, this is very interesting, to say the least.
Not arrived at the conclusion. The FBI, I will say, has recently come out and said they're looking for another person. Good, because what we have so far obviously cannot be it. I feel I was insisting that everybody read that book, Chaos, about the Charles Manson murders. And what we learn from that book is that if the government does want to hide something, what they do is they give you so much information that you you don't even know what's real. So many different possible ways that things could have gone down, so many different manners, so many people speaking, so many publications publishing. And it's just meant to be chaotic, to drive you crazy and to just go, okay, I'm just going to accept whenever the authority says something and not prod any further. We can't allow that to happen here. I won't allow that to happen here because this something terrible has traumatized the world, okay? And I feel as though when it comes to this, the media, the government, the talking heads, everyone is confusing us about what actually took place with Charlie Kirk, this event, how it got set up. I even would like to know who picked the venue, okay? Here is what we know thus far, and I will tell you who the exact source is and what video they presented. So the first bit of proof regarding that day happened at 8:07 a.m. According to TMZ, they have footage, and we're going to show you it, which shows a man at 8:07 a.m., so hours before the shooting, wearing a maroon t-shirt and light shorts, as you were seeing on your screen right now, hands in his pockets, that is just walking outside of university grounds, okay? Now, Governor Cox tells us that at 8:29, which is an interesting timeline, Governor Cox tells us that that is when the shooter, Tyler Robinson, arrived at UVU campus in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, and a black hat with a white logo. So essentially, he's saying that what that person we saw walking down the street right there arrived on campus at 8:29. I'm going to allow you to hear Governor Cox say that himself. Take a listen.
Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes.
So what's interesting, already confusing to me, is that TMZ shows him already walking. We're supposed to believe he walked, parked his car, and then walked onto campus. They're saying that after that video that you just saw of him walking, he got into his car and then drove to campus, and then at 8:29 p.m. on campus is when he arrives. Already confusing, but let's just keep going. We don't need to poke holes. Let's just keep going with the narrative. Then we're back to TMZ, and they release that at 11:49 a.m., they have footage of the shooter who has now changed his outfit. We're supposed to gather that, again, on a doorbell cam, and he's in a different outfit. So this is 11:49 a.m. Charlie Kirk has not yet been shot. Take a look at this. Okay, and for those of you that are listening to this on audio, you are going to see someone who appears to be limping, okay? So maybe he changed his outfit at some point and now he's limping. And the idea that we're seeing floated is that he's limping because he's holding the gun in his pants, okay? That's kind of what's been floated, okay? That has not particularly come from the feds. I don't believe so, but he's limping now and he's got on a different outfit. Okay. 11:52 a.m., and we were actually going to check this, by the way, but I think that we had the FBI say that was when he arrived on campus. Maybe that's not accurate. But so let me just skip off of that because, Skylar, we should actually look to research that. But at 12:23 p.m. is when Charlie Kirk is shot, okay? And 12:23, p.m. is when in that same minute is when we have footage that shows us that as the crowd ducks and it's blurry, the shooter runs across the rooftop. I'm going to tell you why that's significant. So 12:23, Charlie Kirk is shot, and we are going to have an angle of that and the image of the black person in black rather, that is running across the rooftop. Take a look at this. They're down, clearly. And right away, look at that, okay? And we have another, so the footage shows us, there's another actually clip that I was looking for, Skylar, there, that it actually shows him running across the rooftop. You guys may have seen it. The reason why that footage is problematic, as you start to see them ducking and then you see the shooter immediately start moving across the rooftop, is that their narrative is that he disassembled the gun and then started running. So that's a bit confusing to us of how he was able to do that so quickly. An unbelievable amount of hunters, guns, people that reached out to me and said, that just didn't happen. They have, exactly as Michael said, that did not happen. There is no way that happened. That cannot be accurate. Then, and this is obviously...
And family, you got to understand what they mean, what she means by it just absolutely didn't happen based on, different people that are hunters and people that handle firearms on a daily. Basically from what the older gentleman had said that we heard from earlier, is that Mauser, that particular rifle, it's impossible to break it down that fast. So family, there's something that just, when you start looking at it and you start looking at different timelines and then you start piecing things together, saying, well, yeah, if like the guy said, if you know anything about that particular brand of rifle, and it don't break down as readily as per se perhaps a AR-15, well then yeah, there's some problems.
The craziest part of everything, we have Decoy Boy, right? So it happens and suddenly this guy, George Zinn, gets arrested. He's making noise. He's signaling that he's somehow shot the guy. And at 12:52, it gets announced that the suspect is in custody. So nobody needs to look around anymore because this suspect is in custody. But actually, I guess George Zinn just does that. He just does that, I guess, like just wants people to think he's done something but he hasn't actually done anything. That, again, to me feels like he's a decoy. Like more people are involved in this. And I will say that. We don't know. But we know that something's wrong with this. Then at 12:29 p.m., we have TMZ showing us that there's a person running through the backyard. They are saying this appears to be the suspect running. Okay, now we're going to show you that clip. It is very grainy. So they're alleging that that's him. We couldn't confirm that, and the feds have not confirmed that. But it does show you that someone's running across the back. Again, that's at 12:29 p.m. I don't know.
Yeah, but family, they got to have a whole lot more than that, because from that grainy photo from somebody damn or ring camera, or they must got some low end surveillance cameras, because that crap is grainy. You can't see nothing. I mean, you see something moving like a shadowy figure.
Don't know. I'll give you some other facts that you should probably know just in general that that has been thus far confirmed. The weapon, they say, was found in the woods and it was wrapped by a dark towel. Okay, now, when they gave us a photo of that weapon, it was fully assembled. So this is kind of what Michael Savage is saying. He's saying, okay, so then they reassembled it, or maybe the feds did. Maybe they're going to clarify that they reassembled it for a photograph, but we are told that it was found wrapped in a dark towel. Then we have been told that a screwdriver was found on the roof. So they're sticking to this implication that he perhaps undid this gun while he was on the rooftop, and he, wanted to make sure he unscrewed it with the screwdriver, left the screwdriver behind, but took the gun, but then left the gun in the woods. Okay. Then we get, and this has not been contextualized, and I can't wait until it is contextualized, we get photos that are the shooter. This is when the FBI came out and said he's in a stairwell. We don't know exactly where that stairwell is. He's in outfit number 2. So the outfit change has happened, okay? There's no timeline again, but we can discern that there is no weapon that is in his pant leg because we can see him bending one leg in one photo and we can see him bending the other leg in another photo. So we're unclear about this. What is clear is that there is a ton of cameras on this campus. There is a lot of footage that they could release to make the public feel better about this. I mean, tons of different angles. I don't know why we're getting grainy shots at all. There have been tons of people online going through the tech stack of UVU campus and saying like, hey, why are we getting grainy? Why don't you give us clearer images? In fact, you guys could show us an image here, 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 here. They're not doing that. They're just going with this like grainy image and saying that's it. And you can get this grainy image, but we can't tell you much more. Now, again, it's an open investigation. They're under a lot of pressure. There is no question. I'm certainly not going to let this go. And I want the public to not let this go because you were spiritually impacted by watching a man be publicly executed. And you need to keep that energy and understand that something is very wrong here.
Now, hey, listen, I gotta agree with her on that as far as how, people seeing that graphic image over and over and over and over. And once you upload something to this internet matrix, it's there forever. So, man, that's crazy to watch that happen in full living color and just in 3D in color. I mean, just up close and personal, man. Family, it's horrific. And I agree with her. This is something where this is going to give America PTSD, I believe. Everybody who saw the video, which is almost everybody, that's just crazy. Especially knowing that, we're in a time where if you say too much and you offend the wrong person, man, people snapping nowadays. You got regular people out in the street just snapping on folks. But nothing.
Nothing they are saying feels good to me. Honestly, the thing that they said that felt the best to me is when they said that there's probably somebody else involved. That sounds about right. 2 people, maybe. Maybe these aren't even the same people. Maybe the guy in the maroon is not the same as the guy in the black shirt. That would make sense because why change your outfit? Both of these look like you would blend in on a college campus, so why are you blending in twice? Does that make any sense to you? Why would you change your outfit? Like just like a random fashion show while you're going to murder someone? I just want to change my outfit for funsies. And then we hear that Tyler Robinson, when he is apprehended, it is communicated to us that he is wearing the maroon outfit. Now, I want to be clear. They said this was 33 hours later. So he changed his outfit, I mean, ostensibly because he wants to avoid detection would be the only thing that's I think is reasonable to assume. But then he changes back into the outfit that he was wearing before the shooting. For what reason? 33 hours later, like no shower time. He just wanted them to know that it was him on the camera. That's not clear to me. Why are we changing outfits? Are we just 2 different people? I think it's reasonable to ask that question. Are there 2 different people that are involved? Another thing that's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman, probably $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. He really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest?
I gotta agree with her on that one. Gotta have probable cause, man. You definitely gotta have probable cause. And I agree with her 1,000% because just because think about it. Just because your daddy or your mama said, well, yeah, he did it. He did it. That ain't, I mean, where are the supporting elements to support that? I mean, where is it at? I mean, where is it at? So that's and then I don't know, family. It's a little suspicious, to say the least.
What if the kid says he didn't do it? I didn't do it. Dad says you did. Okay, how did they arrest him without a confession? I'm going to show you Governor Cox's statement where he says that the kid has not confessed. Take a listen.
I know you heard that report by Matt Gutman and this latest reporting in the New York Times that some of the suspect's acquaintances were allegedly talking to him online and joking and thought they recognized him from those early photos. Can you tell us anything about that this morning or anything further on the investigation?
Well, all we can confirm is that those conversations definitely were happening, and they did not believe it was actually him. It was all joking until he until he admitted that it actually was him.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He is not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important.
No, my good sir, it's not important. So you mean to tell me that y'all got this man in custody and he hasn't told y'all he did it? He haven't confessed, but allegedly he confessed to his parents, daddy. I don't know about that. And that's enough that's probable cause. I don't know, man. That's I would even say even at this federal investigation, they still got to have probable cause too. They just can't be snatching nobody up based on what he allegedly told his daddy. Uh, uh, I don't know, family. This is I don't know. You got this man in custody, and you don't have no physical proof other than what he allegedly told a family member. Y'all got this man locked up. Hmm,
Were reports yesterday that
hmm.
that we can confirm that that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can confirm that as well, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
Okay, so I'm just not entirely clear on this confession element. Did the pastor just say he did it? Did the father say he did it, but they didn't have any proof? Again, this is obviously everyone's investigating. We yield to them. Do I think this kid was involved somehow? Yeah. Do I think he did this alone? Absolutely not. This story makes entirely no sense. And then there's this random discord over Discord. Okay. So Governor Cox came out and told us that there were messages about the rifle drop point. Okay. Discord says not the same thing. Let's listen to Governor Cox say that on this social media app, Discord, they were discussing the rifle drop point. Take a listen.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
Okay. So he changed outfits. Again, unclear why he did that. Unclear why he would then put the outfit back on 33 hours later. Most people
Yeah, that
just
don't
like
make
shower
no
within that
sense.
time. I did receive contact from one of Tyler Robinson's classmates, and they said that that was the strangest part to them. They told me that that was the strangest part, the 33-hour putting on an outfit that he had on 33 hours early, because they described him as remarkably tidy. He was a tidy individual. So they that flagged them as weird. Just seems like a little extra work. Again, unnecessary, right? Completely unnecessary. You're getting nothing out of changing your outfit. We have a statement from Discord, which kind of disputes that. Discord says, in the course of our investigation, we identified a Discord account associated with the suspect, but have found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord, a spokesperson said in a statement. Again, maybe they need more time, and they're going to get more time. They're going to get a lot of time, because it will be never that I let this go. It will be absolutely never that I let this go. Everything just spiritually feels very wrong here. Yeah. It feels like we are being lied to by who? I'm not sure. Are there some good guys? Of course, there's always good guys in government, but there are too many bad guys in government for me to feel good about this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are obviously going to continue to follow this, to tighten up this timeline with the most up-to-date information that we can possibly have, everything that we could possibly learn about the father that is involved in this. I want to know more about the father. He's being described as a hero. He turned his son in. Okay, I don't trust anything right now. Okay, I trust absolutely nothing. I think everyone needs to be investigated. Every person that is even mentioned should be investigated. We have a right to do that, and we're going to continue to do that. All right, guys, before I get into some of your comments, I want to remind you guys about Pure Talk, because
So, family, I'm gonna stop it right there. So, what y'all think? Y'all think Candace bring up some valid points? I mean, so F probable cause. So basically, really and truly, the evidence that they've shown to the public, eh, it's kind of it looks a little looks a little shaky a little bit to me. It's just like with the rifle being all put together and all neat and wrapped, ready to go. It just don't seem like this was a person that had thought this out. It seems like it just was. It was just a thrown. It looks to be like it was a thrown together plan, but it's just too perfect of a thrown together plan. That's what I'm getting at. So when I brought up that magic bullet theory, so it's the controversial idea that a single bullet caused multiple wounds to both President John F. Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connolly. A concept central to the Warren Commission's conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in the assassination. Critics argue the theory is unrealistic, as it requires the bullet to take a complex and improbable trajectory through both men. So now, basically, and y'all can just do your own research. So, my thing is this, not to say that people aren't involved, but to what extent are they involved? To what extent are people involved? So my thing is, so allegedly, the boy allegedly confessed to his dad. Then they call the good pastor over, and he allegedly confessed to the good pastor. And then so the dad then um informed on his son and notified the authorities, and boom, they swoop in and snatch his son up, arrest him. But I'm still asking, where's the probable cause? The feds even have to work in the area and foundation of probable cause. You just can't snatch people up. That I mean, come on. So it doesn't matter if it's local law enforcement, federal law enforcement, in order to take someone's civil liberties, basically put handcuffs on somebody, detain them, you got to operate in the framework of probable cause. You just have to. Anything less than that, you're violating that person's Fourth Amendment rights. So we have to ask ourselves, what is probable cause? And I'm not gonna go all into it, but basically, everything I'm saying, yeah, man, everybody have to operate under the framework of probable cause. So I still haven't seen where the fact that daddy and the pastor told the authorities, yeah, he did it, my son did it. Well, okay, but where's the evidence at? So I know here in the good old Sunshine State, probable cause is basically it's basically it's a document that's written. Well, that's the affidavit. The act of probable cause itself is basically, as an arresting officer, you have to be able to articulate uh facts and elements that will lead you to believe that there is it's probable that the person standing in front of you committed a crime, has committed a crime, in the process of committing a crime, or will be committing a crime. So my thing is you got to have some type of proof. Got to have something. Can't just be no hunch. Can't just be no I got a gut feeling. Even if you got somebody who snitch on somebody and say, "Oh boy is on the corner and he's selling them things," but you just can't roll up on him and snatch him up. You just can't roll up on him and start running, patting him down and going in his pockets. You have got to, as law enforcement, you got to figure out how you gonna make contact with this person and how you going to establish the fact that maybe they might be selling them things. But just cause somebody told you, well, you know what? That could just be hearsay too. So, family, it just what Candace is saying is it makes a lot of sense. Lot of sense. So, but what y'all think, family? Y'all think it's more to this story? Y'all think maybe they was the government was quick to bring somebody to put in front of the country. So I don't know, family, but I'm pretty sure that as time goes on, hopefully the truth will come out. Because it seems like it's more to it than what's meets the eye. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.